That's where it's totally bothersome because you're saying, yeah, get it first. Eat first.
It's a double standard.
No, pay the price first. Pay the price first.
So that's what you said. The Niners
and fail. Yes. Maybe Kyle Shanahan won't get over the hump. Won't get over the hump for 3 more years. Okay, and he gets over the hump. Then what? So it took 6 years. Oh, that's too long. Fire him. You got to win a title every 5 years. It's preposterous. I think. TC, the you got to win the Super Bowl. Have to. Well, what? You know what? If it's Super Bowl or bust, fire him. Fire him if they don't win it this year.
It's obviously not that from the owner.
Well, but for fans.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? TC.
Yes, sir. Guru.
What's up, baby?
What's up?
Hey.
Man, I'm just chiming in what y'all saying. I mean, the hell with the 6 years. I want Shanahan fired if we don't win after this year, bro, because dude has shown his true colors. He won't ever be able to win that big game.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Thanks, TC. See, thank you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like, I can't. See, that's what
He took time to call us.
That's what I fight against every day. Kyle Shanahan has been a head coach. Is what? This is his 6th year. And TC never win the big one. Kyle Shanahan will never win the big one, according to TC.
Well, he was saying he has to.
No, he said he'll never win it. He said if he doesn't win it this year, he should be fired because that'll prove he'll never win it.
You got patience.
I mean, I don't want to be a jerk, but those are our listeners. He's godless. God.
Fan short for fanatic.
Well, I'm going to, You know what? He gets the little T. Yeah. Anthony in Concord. What's up, Anthony? How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
Good. I don't have an overall expectation. I just think at some point you got to win, and at some point you got to get it done. So is it going to be this year? I have no idea. I tend to believe that there are other teams that are better than the Niners right now, but at some point you do have to win to be taken serious. I just think that that's how it goes in any sport. But you guys keep mentioning Andy Reid. And the one thing that you kind of keep glaring over is the fact that not only did he leave that organization, he actually got a good quarterback. And regardless of what happens, if we don't win, it's always going to come back to either Garoppolo or Kyle. And when you mention Andy Reid, you guys got to remember that at some point, he got Patrick Mahomes and everything looked up for him. So when it's all said and done, it's all about the QB. Is Jimmy G, is he serviceable? Absolutely. But and he can win during the regular season, but it doesn't mean anything unless he gets it done in the postseason. So, I'm not expecting anything, but I think at some point you got to win. That's just how it goes.
Okay. Thanks for the call. And what I'm saying is, at some point they got to win. So let's just say they get to the playoffs this year. Let's say they win. Well, they're going to win the division. Let's say they get upset. They won't get upset by the Giants. Let's say they win a game and lose a game. So, again, they will have gone to the playoffs 3 of 4 years. We're already saying a guy can't win the big one if the 49ers don't win it this year. See, that's what I think that to me is kind of insulting. It's insulting as a sports fan who's watched for decades and decades and decades and decades and realized that 3 or 4 years over the grand scheme of things is not a long period of time. It's a short period of time. That's all. What?
I'm perplexed. I'm speechless.
I'm just saying.
You've come in here, and it's not personal. You've come in here and gone at this man. You've gone at this head coach, Kyle. Yeah. You're like, you know what, Goo? How was he up there with the good ones? That's fine.
Thank you.
So I'm just trying to put this, because I remember everything. I'm the real Google. So
you're not.
It's
very easy to understand.
Because it sounds like now you've called off the dogs on how you assess him and if he gets over these hurdles.
Kyle Shanahan got hired, and everybody said he was the next coming of
I would.
The
I got my
greatest
hand up.
football coach of all time.
Yep.
And because that's just preposterous, I didn't think that. I was like, well, he's never been a head coach before. Let's watch him. Okay? So now we're 5 years in. All right?
Yep.
And I'm telling you that if the 49ers get to the playoffs this year and go to the NFC Championship game, Kyle Shanahan has on his resume 3 NFC titles and 1 Super Bowl appearance in the last 4 years. I don't care what I think about him. That's success. That's success. He's not going anywhere, and he may just be embarking on a career where he's got 10 more years. And I'd like to see a list of every coach who won it all after they didn't win it their first 5 years. Because I'll bet you it's more coaches than have won it in their first 3 or 4 years.
Okay, and I'm going to give you that because that is success. Okay, that is success. But for people calling the radio, the fans, and say, you know what, Steiny, with that success, he can't win the big. My confidence is shaken. I don't think Kyle can win the big. You wouldn't pull your hair out at that point.
Yes. Yes, I would. How long do you think Kyle Shanahan's going to be a coach in the NFL? He looks pretty good,
yeah,
huh?
Right. A good 10. Yeah, he's got a good run.
I mean, if I would think that if Kyle Shanahan wants to coach, he'd probably coach for a few decades.
No doubt.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to say,
and it may be somewhere else outside of here too, Steiny.
5 years into his career, he'll never win the big one. Like, that to me is absolutely asinine.
Okay, so what about you don't win since we're doing this?
Okay, they don't win it this year.
No,
but they get to the playoffs.
So now here comes Garoppolo. You say bye-bye to.
Well, then that's a legitimate
decision. And you told
decision.
me this because we talked about it. Yeah. Now Trey Lance is tied, and rightfully so, to Kyle.
All right.
And he doesn't pan out.
Well, then
they don't even get to a playoff game.
Okay.
Then at that juncture, what's valid to say about Kyle?
What's valid to say about Kyle is that he got off Jimmy Garoppolo, who was proven, and he thought he had a better quarterback than Trey Lance, but he didn't.
Now, was there a price to pay because Trey didn't pan out and you moved mountains to get him?
Maybe, but I think Kyle Shanahan will get another job.
Oh,
even if that happens.
That's already cemented.
650, George Seifert and Steve Young went through the same criticism. Okay. James, I believe it. James in Fairfield. What's up, James?
Hey, fellas. You know what? This is a very good debate. I love how cerebral y'all are. This is the thing. You know what? Do people forget when the Niners sucked for almost 10 years? Do people forget how bad the Niners sucked before we got Walsh? And then the blessing that Seifert was and the carryover? I understand the criticism of Kyle, and criticism is not a bad thing. Okay, but we could be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, we could be the Browns. All right. I mean, it's asinine. It's absolutely mind blowing for people to think that if we don't win it this year, then he needs to be fired. And I'll even go as far as saying this: the whole thing with Trey Lance and the freakish way he got injured and whatnot. I am putting out that he is a special player, and he's going to get what he needs to be where he needs to be to get the Niners to the promised land. I believe that. But what other coach, for all of these naysayers out there who are talking all this mess, who do you want to coach? What, are you going to go and are you going to try to pick up Chucky to coach? Who do you want? Are you going to ask somebody to come out of retirement to coach the Niners? Kyle Shanahan, for all his faults, has put the Niners in as a perennial, team that's going to the playoffs.
Well,
and they're the one team every year that you don't want to see because you catch them on a good day and they're beating your team down.
Thanks, James. James, no, I appreciate it, and I'm with you. Here's the one thing that I disagree with. He hasn't made them perennially that team yet. Like, this to me would go a long way towards starting a perennial playoff run. He came for 2 years. Like, if you want to be a big Kyle supporter, you could say, well, the first 2 years don't count. And if you really wanted to, it's what a lot of people think or say, and okay, it doesn't really matter, but man, let's all agree they're probably going to they're probably going to win the division and go to the playoffs this year, right?
Yep. Like they did last year.
It's a hell of a 4-year run. I mean, that's probably a better 4-year run than, all but 3 or 4 teams, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess every team that won a Super Bowl in that time you'd probably take.
Well, I think the example that a lot of people are kind of searching for would be the Los Angeles Rams, where you cash in all your chips, you end up with a Super Bowl, and then this year they're 3-8, but who cares, right? Because you won it all. It seems like that's kind of what people are asking for, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. If my choice was Rams win it last year and go 8 years without...
Well, that's too long. That's too long.
Well, do the math. If everybody wins the same amount, you win 1 title in 32 years. So if you win 1 in 8,
but if you're
that's 4 times as many as what the average is, and you're saying that's too long, so you now own a franchise where you say we must win 1 title every what?
5 years. And give me the Steiny special with we're winning and we're getting close and it's a nice ride and we go to the playoffs. So it ain't just doom and gloom. And you keep making...
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, because I feel real quick. I feel like you're missing this part of Kyle. And this is, and I'm the guy that put him on the pedestal. Steiny, he said bye-bye to Garoppolo. And when got something he didn't know how to fix or use, and his ass has gotten saved. Now, the skeptic could say, hey, Goo, what, you sound like you're hating because it happened that way. But, dude, what's happening this year ain't by design. Their ass got lucky, Steiny.
Did it?
And no, seriously, you said bye to 10. You told him bye. Stay on the side of the field.
I told
you can't even practice with us. So we can't ignore that.
What did I say during that time?
I'm trying to think.
I didn't think they ever really wanted to trade for him as much as people thought, and that's why they asked for an 2 seconds. Hit the pike. Nobody was trading for 2 seconds.
But Jimmy would have had to been in on it then. And when he did that presser, I took him, Steiny, he was bye-bye. I thought it was real.
So
he probably did too.
So Kyle Shanahan, they come back, they go to the NFC Championship game, they lose. Next year comes around, and Kyle says, Trey Lance isn't ready. He's either not healthy or, you know what, Jimmy's still better than him. But we got Jimmy back. Somehow we finagled the thing. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what else
didn't work that way. We used our quarterback like a fullback, and he's hurt. And now I don't want to say they're stuck with them because that would be shade at Trey Lance. But now one of the biggest question marks about this team moving forward after this incredible season ends, and we're going to see a playoff game and maybe even a Super Bowl run is they then do at the quarterback position.
Oh, sure. I thought you were going to say
fascinating.
I thought you were going to say if they either lose in the NFC Championship or lose in the Super Bowl. At that point, what do you do with Kyle? Because
I'm not there with that. I've called the dude a genius, but I still can point out his flaws.
Wouldn't the question then be Kyle's, if you're talking about his potential price to pay, would that be tied more to winning or to Trey?
Well, if it's Trey, then he's got umpteen years, like you say, Steiny, because then you got 2-3 years, or is the new 2 to 3 years 1 year? I don't know.
If the 49ers get to the NFC Championship and lose, or get to the Super Bowl and lose, then Kyle Shanahan
will be here forever.
I think.
But the fans can still be like, he can't win the big one. And that's okay.
Well, the fans are idiots.
Well,
and I'm sorry. That's what I'm fighting against. And I'll fight it to this day. You're going to say he can't win the big one 5 years into his coaching career. I'm sorry. That makes no sense to me. No sense. 5 years into a guy's career, he's been to the NFC Championship game twice in the last 3 years. And you're going to declare he can't win the big one. That's not how
how would you define any coach that gets to the big one and doesn't win?
What's going on in Tennessee? Who's their coach? Vrabel?
Yeah.
Okay, he can't win the big one?
They've gone to the playoffs.
They've gone to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years.
But he can't get to the big one.
Okay, so does he choke, or is his team not good enough?
It could be. Well, no, I would go with the team not good enough.
Is he a good coach?
I believe in my book he is.
Well, then maybe he'll win a title in the next 5 years.
But my question to you, just as a man, is, okay, forget Kyle. If said coach gets to 3 title games, he obviously can coach his ass off. How do you watch? Do you say, oh, the dude's got 20 more years before you could come down and say what transpired with his teams on the 3 stages?
I'm not going to say
three different times that we've seen him on display.
I would never
in championship game.
I would never say midway through a coach's 5th year, where he's already coached in a Super Bowl and gotten his team to the NFC
I'm
championship.
just asking. Yeah.
I think you got to be a flat-out freaking idiot to say he'll never win the big one. Really? Do you want me to go
nobody
back?
Nobody would say that, Steiny,
because
he's still coaching.
We just heard. That's what we've been hearing.
But that's feel. That's meantime. That's pain. That's hurt.
That's more people than you think.
And I'm done doing that because Andy Reid stuck it to me.
80% of coaches stick it to you. Not you, but you people. Because most coaches, when they win a title, are not in their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th year. They're more experienced than that. You know what? Like, those are the kind of fans where I hope they get to the Super. This is that small.
You're in the weeds
49ers
now.
Get to the Super Bowl, lose it. They fire Shanahan, and then he goes and wins 7 titles somewhere else.
He's made. He ain't getting fired.
Well you've already fired him.
No,
you fired him.
I'm disappointed.
Why? They're 7-4. Why are you disappointed?
It's bigger.
They're 7-4
because I feel like they should have some hardware on their finger by now.
Well, wait a minute. So you're disappointed right now about lost
19,
opportunities in the past?
I don't forget 19. I don't forget anything. And when I put you,
what does that have to do with that?
When I put you on that pedestal, you got to close. Coffee's for closers.
So,
and he got lemon booty in front of us all.
I don't understand.
Then you had the injuries. You get back last year, and you know what? The football gods say, hey, Kyle, hey, what's up? Hey, it's the football gods. What you got for me? 10-point lead in L.A. NFC championship game. What you going to do with it? Squander it again. But to you, there's nothing to see here. But to me, I'm like, well,
what happened?
Some coaches, like Vrabel, they don't even get to that point. You know what I mean? They don't even get to that location,
right? So
that point.
And I give him credit for that. You hold it against him.
Well, I gave him credit before I even got to the game.
Go see how many coaches are 4-2 in the postseason. Not many. Not many. I mean, I hear what you're saying. But the fact that the 49ers lost the Super Bowl in 19,
right?
That's not impacting what I think of this team.
All right. And
I'm looking at that's in the past. I'm looking at this team, Goo, saying, they're 7-4. They've won 4 in a row. They've turned their season around. They look like they're ready to cruise. They're going to be one of 3 or 4 teams in the NFC that's got a chance to win it. It's like,
Put Steiny,
what are we doing?
We knew that coming in.
I didn't.
See, but that's I appreciate you saying that.
Not with a rookie quarterback.
Well, I'll take that.
That was a pipe dream from day one.
But that was the mission they thought they could overcome, Steiny. And to be honest, we don't know.
They knew it.
The rug got ripped out from all of us to see if they could do it.
Do you really think that Kyle Shanahan, after he started Trey Lance week 1, said, we can go 12-5 with this guy?
I don't know.
I don't believe that
but Steiny,
at all.
I'm going to be honest with you. He wouldn't be the coach you think he is if he thought they couldn't get it done. Now, 10-7 gets him in the play. He wouldn't have done that to take 2 steps back, knowing that Trey. I honestly believe with his, not ego, but just with his, hey, we can get this done with this rookie and me controlling them and the offense. I honestly believe that's what the man.
I thought that was foolish. I would never bought it in the first place. And I would, and honestly, somebody like Kyle Shanahan, I don't believe for 1 second that Kyle Shanahan really thought he could win a Super Bowl with Trey Lance playing 17 regular season games and 3 postseason games.
Wow. He would owe those other 53 an apology if that's what he thought.
What do you mean?
I'm going to start a quarterback that's going to allow us not to reach our goals after we just left the NFC Championship game? I believe Kyle thought he could do it.